Ray Ellis, Thursday night starting at 7 here on KTUS AM 1060.
I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show. This is Vinny with James and Vince.
Nice.
Excellent job.
All right, Mr. Vinny Bill. Hey, we got on the phone with us a special guest, Briar University out in Sioux City, Iowa, NAIA school, women's soccer coach Paul Cox. Coach Cox.
Hello.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, sir. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. James, you want to set up this story and how we met Coach Cox?
Well, we were on the way back from the OUAZ and Doane game, and we were in the airport in Lincoln, Nebraska, and getting ready to take off. Omaha. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Omaha. And we ran into Coach Cox. His players were getting some coffees and stuff there and trying to wake up a little bit. And we got a chance to talk with him in a very pleasant conversation. And we wanted to catch up with him here and see not only Coach Cox, how that road trip went, but how you guys are doing now and then what you got coming up here in the near future.
Yeah. Well, it was good to meet you guys at the airport. We had a long day that day. We ended up getting there and waiting 3 hours for our rental vans to take us around California. So we had a little bit of a blip through that day, but the soccer games when we got out there were good. We went out at the first game and won 4-0, which was great, especially the long day of travel the day before. And because of we got delayed at Avis trying to get our rental vans, we were unable to practice that day. So we were a little nervous going into the game, having a day of not practicing, but the girls handled it really well, and when we went out there and had a comfortable win. A lot of our girls are from the West Coast. We had about, I think, 11 girls from the trip that are from California.
Yeah, it was a bit of a homecoming for your team.
It was it was actually the support we got for both games, but we didn't really realize it till the first game. We had about 150 fans there for an away game.
Wow,
that's pretty good, Coach.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty good for a home game for one of the games that we've been involved with. So anyway,
yeah, for NAI women's soccer to get that on the road is really quite impressive. So that was great. And then we let them go with their families on the Sunday, and then the Monday game we played the number we played the number 11 team in the country, and we lost that game 3-1. And honestly, that bit was probably on me. We set up the game a little bit too negatively. We sat back when we should have really gone after it, but we didn't. We sat in a little bit, and it was a tough game. They're one of the best teams in the country. I mean, they were ranked as high as 4 last year. But then when we came back from the trip, we played a team, Waldorf, who were based in Forest City, Iowa, and we got back to winning ways, 1-0, another clean sheet for us. And then we were supposed to play last Saturday, but the game actually got rained out. We a little bit of adversity for us this last week or so. So we got a pretty big storm that came through, and we trained at a facility just on the other side of the bridge, which is actually in Nebraska, because we're right in that kind of tri-state area between Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota, and it's actually flooded out a training complex.
Wow!
So so our game got cancelled last Saturday against Graceland, and then we went out to train on the Sunday, and all the fields were, with the exception of one, the one that we actually train on, was like a little island. But anytime you'd misplace a pass or a shot,
storms out
the
there.
ball would be in the water. So we actually went up and trained at the University of South Dakota this week twice.
Coach, I have a question for you now, and it's specific to you and Briar Cliff, obviously. And not a lot gets past me. Sometimes, a couple things will go over my head, but you don't sound like you're from the Sioux City, Iowa area. How did you end up at Briar Cliff?
Yeah, that one didn't get past you.
No, it almost did, but I just thought, yeah.
So let me try and think how long ago this was.
We don't need to go back to your childhood, but a basic. How'd you end up out there?
I mean, I ended up playing at a school. Actually, ironically, we start conference play today against Midland University in Nebraska, and that's where I spent 11 years.
Wow.
11 years, okay. So I was 10 maybe. So I basically ended up going out there to play in 2008. Played there for 4 years, went home for a year, came back to coach there for 3 years, worked as an academic advisor there for 3 years, and then the position of Briarcliff opened up last January.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the short story of how I ended up at Briarcliff.
Coach, you got some great assistant coaches working with you, Kai Edwards, Megan Glover, and Taylor Below. Talk a little bit about them and how they help out your team as a whole.
Yeah, so Kai is with us at first year this year. Kai played for the men's program. He was a graphic design major. He's from Brighton, England. The stuff that he does for us social media-wise, I don't think there's anyone better in the NAIA. I think the stuff, I don't know if you've been able to follow us a little bit on Twitter, but some of the stuff he does just to promote us within we're in an age now where kids, when they're being recruited, they'll go to your social media pages. And when they come to ours, Kai does such a fantastic job to elevate the image of the program.
Yeah, some amazing stuff there. And that, a lot of times, you're right, that is the face of the program. And what you're putting out there is really important because everybody's got their phone now. It's always around, and everybody's getting, it's very popular. So, yes, go ahead.
For sure. And then Megan's actually a volunteer. So Megan works within she's a graduate assistant within our sports information department. And she volunteers her time whenever she can. She's a GA by kind of title, but she pretty much does a full-time gig doing what she's doing, and we're grateful for any time that we get with her. And she's an alumni of the program, and she's a real good support person for the girls on the team. Like when we went up, we had to drive 45 minutes to train at South Dakota, and we needed a driver to help drive one of the vans up there. And she just worked a long day, and she had no problem driving one of the vans so we could take more people to training. And then Taylor's actually, she just finished playing with us last season. She was our captain last season, our top scorer. So it's just good to have someone like her around so the girls can ask questions. Because she's just come out of playing. She's been a part of the program. She's been through a program through some tough changes as well. So she can kind of relay to the team that we're in a good position. We're heading in the right direction. So she's a good kind of point for the players to go to and, remind them that we're on the right track.
So many unsung heroes, Coach, especially on a smaller college team such as at Briarcliff there, and it's great that you appreciate those folks and what they do for your program. Talk a little bit about your players now. Who carries your team on the field?
I think the good thing for us is we were in a position last year when we were picking a team, we were just kind of picking 11 was tough because we were like, right, how do we weren't in a position that we were this year if we have much more stronger players. So we're in a position this year where we're like 14 to 15 people deserve to start the game. So I think we've added a lot of depth to the program, and we do have a lot of options to play. And we've actually never played the same starting 11 in our 5 games twice. So, but I feel like we have areas where we have just rocks, and I feel like our 2 central defenders have been absolute rocks for us this season. They just, whenever they get the ball, it's on their terms. It's calm. They're just basically, when they get the ball, they're going to go, right, the tempo of this game is going to be dictated by me, by them, I mean. And so those 2 have been solid for us. And then we've got our front 3 are pretty good. We've got a centre forward, a transfer from Rio Hondo in California. And she missed the first 3 games. She was still going through the eligibility center, but she came back in California. Her first 2 games were in California, and she scored in both of those games. So she's only played 3 games, scored 2 goals, so we're excited to see what she can bring. Yeah. And then Sonia Rao, who's actually from Scottsdale.
Oh, local girl.
The local girl for
right.
you guys. She was a first-team all-conference player as a freshman last year.
Yeah, nice.
And we've changed where we've added players this year. We've been able to move her to a strongest position, and she's a big player for us. And we haven't probably got what we got out of her last year, but it's very close. And I know that she's really gonna excel with conference starting today.
Hey, Coach, we want to have you on again in the near future, and we appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. And good luck the rest of the season. We're definitely going to stay in touch with you, and we appreciate you chiming in and telling us a little bit about the program out there. So if it's okay with you, we're going to get in touch with you again, kind of check your progress and see how things end up.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.